Hi everyone, my name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to ask, what is going well on your twin flame journey? What is going well? So let's grab the map cards and let's see what is going well. We'll pull 3 cards. What's going well on your twin flame journey? 3 cards, please. What is going well? 3 cards for the collective, for my viewers. What is going well? What is going well right now? What is going well for those that are watching? What is going well? 3 cards. What is going well on the twin flame journey? What's happening that's... Ooh, look at that. Okay. Well, the first card out is strength. Yeah, look at that. So she's got this almost like the world on her arm right there. So you are building strength like no other. You've been through a lot. You've gone on a probably a roller coaster of sorts. And it's like, I always like to use that analogy of the diamond where you put, you're like a block of coal that goes through a whole lot of pressure, and heat, and just all of the harsh conditions that you could think of, right? And then you come out a diamond, right? And then we have listening reversed, which means to me inner listening. You're listening inside. You're starting to listen inside of you. You're starting to really listen outside the box in a way. It's interesting. There's music. So what I'm getting with that is you guys have ear chakras and you hear music. And when you start to hear music and you start to hear certain songs, you can kind of figure out what it means and what it's trying to say. And sometimes it doesn't even have to be like the song itself. Like I remember I got a message and it literally was the group name. Like I kept listening to the song. I'm like, what does this song have to do with anything? But then when I read what the group name was, I forget what it was now. I can't remember which group it was, but anyway, the group name gave me the answer. Like that was the answer that I needed. Or I don't know if it was an answer that I needed, but it was an answer that I was given, let's put it that way. Or they wanted me to know. And so when you hear a song inside of you, because you can get messages from songs outside of you, of course, and you'll know because it'll almost be like, oh, okay, yeah, I understand. But it'll be a song will hit your brain, okay, and you're starting to listen to that, and you're starting to take note instead of ignoring it. Okay, and then the other one is Moonlight. Okay, so when I think of the moon, of course I think of shadows. Okay, so when it comes to shadows, it's like you're facing your shadows head on. Now, I know in this picture she's kind of putting her head down a little bit, but at the same time, it's not reverse. She's not confused either. She's not confused. She's like, almost like I see the illusions, because to me the moon is the illusion. It could also have to do with cycles and mostly shadows. And so it's almost like you're starting to face them, right? Because she's not like facing it like head on, right? She's still got her face kind of buried, but she's like, all right, I'm aware of you. You're right there. I'm not ignoring you. I'm not confused. And I see you loud and clear. And I feel like you're going to start to really understand your shadows, which is good because you don't want them in the shadows, right? You don't want the darkness, your divine feminine, hidden, right? The divine feminine's always been pretty hidden, like our intuition, right? Do you ever talk to people where they say there's no such thing as intuition? I met a whole group of people who told me that. I was at a meetup, and 100% of the men, not 100%, maybe like 98% of the men said there's no such thing as intuition. So I'm like, well, what about animal instincts? Is that something you believe in? But I didn't realize it was like their divine feminine was just completely blocked. Their chakras were completely blocked. The divine feminine is completely blocked. And most people, and I don't know most people, I don't know if that's true anymore. Back then it seemed to be the case. Or maybe it was a mirror to me. I mean, I was very well aware of intuition, but obviously I wasn't seeing all of my shadows, right? So it's like whatever you blame others for and whatever you get upset in others, it's like you always know it's yours, especially if you're triggered. If you're not triggered and you just notice them and you're like, okay, but you're not triggered, then it's just something where it's like you're just growing and you're just saying, okay, well, there it is. And but you're not triggered from it, so it doesn't have any hold on you. And it's really not in the shadows anymore. But it's when it really triggers you. Nah, I just came out of the shadows. And that's what's happening. That's what's really good on your twin flame journey is that you're really noticing your own shadows and you're really taking ownership of them. And it's your own trauma, it's your own inner child wounds, it's your own past life wounds, and it's your own soul's wounds. And it's easy to ignore them at first. And it's easy to distract yourself from them at first, you know. But it comes out another way. It comes out in illness. It comes out in mental breakdowns, dark night of the souls. It still comes out. It still comes out as some sort of instability where maybe you're fighting with someone, you stop talking to whatever it may be. But the shadows will never go away. But at the same time, at the beginning, you could pretend they're not there and just say they're someone else's. And then you want to fix other people, right? Because they have all these shadows. And then you realize they're yours. And then you're like, and then you fix it in yourself, right? And then you notice it less in other people. But then what ends up happening is you end up not being a vibrational match to people, because you'll find that they start to get worse and their own mental instability doesn't trigger you, but at the same time you're like, the universe will start to do stuff so that you're not with them anymore. The universe will start blocking it, is what it is, which seems to be the case. Where I'm like, do I need to make new friends? The universe just keeps blocking every time, and it's not even them either. It's just somehow everything seems to get canceled, right? And so, and then whatever your vibrational match is starts to show up. So that's another ding, 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 what you're a vibrational match to. And then sometimes I'll just start laughing. I'm like, oh, because I did my cards on this one. I know why my universe is showing me this one. I'll give you an example. It's like the universe wanted me to start giving more without feeling appreciated, right? And part of this was this YouTube channel, which I understood. So I had to make changes in my YouTube channel where I used to get a lot of appreciation, and now there's hardly any. I mean, there is a little bit, but not like the extent, not to the extent as it used to be. But I understand the why, because it's just another expansion. It's another lesson that I'm going through. But then it goes on with my friends too, where what I find is that I'm like, if I go out to lunch with like a friend, or if I'm, and not all the time, but there are times when I find that the soul wants to make sure that something's happening where I'm the one giving, right? And even if I try to make it where, hey, I'm just going out to lunch or something, it just, the universe fixes it. The best way I can explain it is that I notice what the universe is doing. The universe switches things up on me. Or if I think a certain way and I swing too much on the pendulum, the universe will change the whole energy of my life, so that I now have to switch sides. And again, it's when you start noticing these things, you're really growing, and that is happening with you guys, and that's huge. That's really huge. You guys should be proud of yourselves. And then you're also, and I'm just being drawn to this deck just to see you're also becoming aware of your own shadows. I'm just going to pull three. You may not align with all of them, or you may not notice all of them, or I mean, obviously we're every shadow, right? But these should be the bigger ones. And so, what shadows are my viewers starting to notice about themselves that they're starting to work on, or starting to heal, or starting to accept? And you may not notice all three yet, or you may feel like, well, yeah, I've definitely overcome those already, or I'm still working on it. Anyway, three. And it might even show me which ones you've kind of overcome. Okay. Interesting. So interesting. So a lot of you are overcoming this obsession. So it's like you guys are aware of it, and it's reversed. It's reversed. So how I read into that is that you guys are aware of it, and you're really trying to change that. Like you're really, 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 really working on this by a lot. Everything you can do to figure out how to overcome this obsession, you are super duper coming. I mean, this is what's going really well in your twin flame journey, because that was the original question, which is 7/17, by the way. That's when this will be filmed. And so 7/17 seems to be a very popular twin flame number. I'm finding. But anyway, many of you are overcoming the obsession. So that is huge, because that is one of the major what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's like they're blocking me. They're blocking my thoughts. I guess I'm not supposed to say it. Okay, I'll shut up. Okay. And then the other one is the child I was meant to be. So what's interesting on that is that that's the inner child, right? So that's inner child work when you realize, okay, I have an imbalance with my inner child. My inner child needs something. I need to give it to my child self, my inner child. And that is reverse. So what that is telling me is that you guys are also working really well. Overcoming challenges is what I was trying to say before. So you've really overcome, or I'm in the midst of overcoming this challenge, understanding that a lot of this has to do with your inner child, because this is reversed. So that's what else is going really well on your twin flame journey. Now, what's interesting is what's still upright. So you may not be aware of it, or you're still working on it, but it's hiding true self. And that's hard, right? Because if you're hiding your true self, meaning you're wearing a mask, meaning you're not being true to who you are or who you really are. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you have to uncover a lot of layers before you actually know who you really are. Well, how do I do that, Mary Beth? Well, the way I did it was I released trapped emotions. I had to peel back a lot of layers. I had to release a lot of trapped emotions to understand who I really am. Okay, to understand who my true self is. Okay, and of course, the true self being the soul and not being a persona. Now, at the same time, do I put a persona on? Of course I do. I'm a freaking avatar. Do I look like a soul? No, I don't. I have a persona. I have a personality, right? And so at the same time, as you get to know yourself more as the soul, your true self starts to come out more and more and more. And this is a toughie. This might be what they're telling me. This is probably lifelong. Like, this is probably not like something where it's like, oh, okay, I now no longer have this identity issue. It's like, because we're all a mirror. Well, and I guess maybe that's the answer too, I guess, right? When you understand you're a mirror, and your persona comes out based on the person you're with. Have you ever noticed that? I don't know about everyone. Maybe it is just me. Maybe I'm just a chameleon. I don't know. Anyway, for me, because I noticed the mirror, I literally change personality based on who I'm with. I really do match personalities. And is that really being my true self? No, well, maybe it is because I'm mirroring. I don't know. So this one's a complicated one. So I would say everyone's working on, but you know what? But hiding your true self also could be not being true to you on what your needs are, maybe just ignoring yourself, ignoring your soul, ignoring what you need, ignoring your, again, what I said before in my video last Sunday is like emotionally being connected to yourself, right? Once you learn how to emotionally connect to yourself, you understand your needs more, you're listening more, and you're understanding your true self. And really, your true self is your soul, because sometimes I was willing to sell out my soul, knowing what I was doing was making. Oh, I'll give you a good example. I worked on Wall Street for 16 years, maybe 17, and I knew the cheating that was going on. I knew. I even did depositions on it. I knew it. But at the same time, I still did the job. I didn't walk away. I still did it. I made very good money. And I was selling out my soul for the money, right? Because my soul didn't like that, right? My soul was all. So what happened, right? So I was getting sick a lot. I had very high highs, I had very low lows. I went through a lot of depression, you know, and my soul's all, I don't know if this is really fulfilling. And so I had to get back. So I had to kind of like get back to my true self. And all of a sudden, my true self felt like, well, let's have a baby. And I had my daughter. And after I had my daughter, I'm like, oh, I can't work this job anymore. And I literally quit. I quit a 6-figure job, just crazy. And then I moved across country. Did crazy things like I didn't even have a job lined up. So, but I started becoming my true self. I realized I was a Dharma working in a Greg's world. If you ever watched the show Dharma and Greg, you know, and I just understood I really wasn't a Greg. That really wasn't who I am. It really wasn't. But I did a good job being stoic. I did a really good job being a Wall Street type personality. I did a really good job on becoming non-emotional and being tough and pretty much a bitch on wheels. Like I did a really good job with that persona. But then I realized, oh, is that really who I am? No. And then I had to strip away all those personas, right? Until I became more and more of who I actually am, which I started understanding who I am around 27, and started to come about where I started to understand what made me tick and what I cared about, and like where I lose my time, you know, reading about, you know, that's when I started understanding my true self. And so, but little by little, but I'm still stripping away at my personas, and I'm still learning who I am. But that's what's great about the twin flame journey, because your twin flame is a reflection of you. And then whatever's triggering you about your twin flame, that is a major thing to look at. And that is something that is inside of you that needs to be healed. And, you know, and if it's running away or if it's non-communicating, you know, you have to give that to yourself. You have to not run away from yourself. And that's hard, right? You figure, well, how the heck am I running away from myself? I'm right here. But if you're ignoring your soul and you're ignoring your soul's calling and you're ignoring what your soul's saying, that is running away from yourself. And so getting back to your soul is your true self. But it looks like, you know, that's obviously something that everyone's still working on, including myself. That's a big one. I don't know if that's ever doable. I don't know. Because you're in a body. I don't, and you have a mind and you have a personality. I don't understand. I don't understand how you don't get rid of your personality. You just try to come back to your true self, which is your soul. It's pretty much just leading a soul directed life as best you can. Soul directed life. That's your true self. If you're following your soul, you'll feel more fulfilled. That doesn't mean the shadows go away. The more you run away from your shadows, the bigger the shadows will get. You have to accept your shadows. Your shadows are not bad, and they will stay with you. They never dissipate ever. I promise you. The minute you think you're away from your shadows and you've healed them and you're in the light, and I swear to God, the shadows get bigger. So shadows are a big part of you. Okay, but you're doing great with overcoming the obsession. That's big. That's big stuff. And your inner child work. That's really big too. So anyway, you guys are doing a great job. That's all I gotta say. So anyway, so this is your reading on what is going well in your twin flame journey. Well, I do hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.